What's up? What?
Nothing. Go ahead. It's not even important.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I'm joined once again by Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
You should leave that in though.
I'm gonna leave it in. I'm absolutely gonna leave it in.
Infinitely awesome, sir. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm
They,
doing very
I
well.
think they're gonna be like, they're gonna click on it and be like, wait for what? Wait, what are we waiting? What's going on? Wait, what are we waiting for? No, never mind. Leave it.
It had to be something. Now I'm curious as what the thought was that popped into your
No,
head.
I was gonna talk about merch. That's all. I was saying I'm
okay.
just looking at designing some new merch. That's all. So anybody that want merch, let me know. That's all.
Be on the lookout for it. New designs popping up.
God damn it! When you start changing the intro, I got to step my shit up. I got to be a willing participant into this.
I haven't changed it up too much, but we kept getting hit with copyright flags.
Really?
Yeah, over the old theme.
Some of them.
It's the person who created the music, but I've got the music off of one of those royalty free sites. So it's not like we're getting a copyright.
It wasn't royalty free.
It's not like we're getting a copyright strike. It's just saying that this person is identifying it as this is their music.
Do they want to come on the show?
I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. It's all an algorithm, AI recognition based thing. Because that's why people can get away with like doing reactions to songs, but they're constantly pausing it and like commentating over the music, or just pausing it, or they'll have it like in a window that's like about that big, and then it's reversed, and then they have a color overlay over it. Because if the
educational purposes, you can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even for educational purposes. It's just like for reaction purposes. Just like if we were to do a trailer, there was some trailer videos that we weren't able to post because they got hit with copyright strikes.
And it's just we educating our fans, our family.
I mean,
we don't have fans; we have family.
There's been a few that I've appealed, and let them know like it's a reaction video, so we can't react to something that the audience can't see. And typically when I appeal them, they were like, okay, that's fine.
Thank you, YouTube.
But it's all just recognition based, because it's not even, because we'll do a trailer reaction and we watch the whole entire trailer.
Yeah, we do.
Music and all. Like I know, like new rock stars, they'll like drown out the music, or they'll isolate the speech so they don't get a copyright strike on their videos with like music licensing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but we play all of
raw.
It. Yeah,
we raw with it. We like throwing fingers up to the industry, like
But when
wrong fingers,
when the copyright checker checks it, it only isolates like just a portion of the video, and
not watching the whole thing. Yeah,
right. So it's like, oh, we're just like looking for this little piece, and then flag. So.
Well, here's hoping until we're not getting flagged on this one.
Well, we're not gonna get flagged on this one because we're not putting up anything that's not our own content.
Spider, we don't know. We don't know. This show can go anywhere.
I mean, it can go anywhere.
I might start singing stuff.
I doubt it. I mean, if you start singing and we get a copyright strike for that, then you need to go into the music business.
No, I hear they do things that I don't want to do in that situation. No, that's okay. That's okay.
But if you don't know what this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpower TV, movies, even trailers. We watch them, we react to them, we break them down, and we review them, and we ask the question: is it super?
Is it?
Is it
super?
We don't know.
Or is it just not?
It could be either one. But if you like that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
And leave a comment so we can look at it.
Yeah.
I might just look at it. I might not read. There's a comment.
Depends on what the comment is.
Well, you're right.
Because some comments beg to be read.
If it's good enough.
If it's good enough.
If you're a part of the cool kids, you can leave a comment.
Will your comment be good enough to be read?
Challenge accepted.
But
the Invincible is back.
We are back. Part 2 of season 2 of Invincible. Episode 5. I hate that this is only 8 episodes. Because you know what I did in between this break?
Why did that? Wish that Invincible came back?
No, I did more than wish.
You manifested Invincible?
No, I read the entire Invincible run.
Are you serious?
I read all the comic books. Every single one of them.
That's good. I don't feel like I need to spoil anything for you, though.
No, and I will try to do my best to not spoil anything for anybody who's listening and they don't know exactly what's going to happen.
They on the wrong. They clicked the wrong thumbnail, Spider. We don't hold back.
We never spoil future episodes or future, things like that. We'll talk about everything that happened in this episode, but we're not going to spoil what's going to come up because
potentially
we're assuming that if you're listening or you're watching right now, just because you've already watch the episode and you just kind of want to come and see what we have to say about it. What's our take about it? So
yes,
you're not afraid of anything being
you
spoiled.
Really just like us and you wanted to see us because you saw that logo and all things super come through. It's your favorite thumbnail to click. It's your favorite part of the platform that you're watching. So whatever you're seeing it on or listening to it on, you're welcome. I feel like Moana's demigod friend. What's his name? Yeah, that's it.
Rock.
Maui. No, you can't say that. You got
extra syllables.
Because we don't want to get sued. Didn't you just talk a whole lesson about copyright?
Maui,
the island?
city in Hawaii.
I thought it was his own island.
Is it an island?
I thought it was.
I'm
but
sorry.
I've been wrong a lot.
Look, Americans are like in the lowest percentile when it comes to geography. So
I don't know how accurate that is, but it sounded good.
I guarantee you that the United States is one of the lowest in education when it comes to geography.
That's horrible. That's horrible, man. We're the land of the free and we don't know where we at.
Exactly. It's not that we don't know. Well, I will say that there are a lot of people who don't know where we at, but especially when you get to like overseas.
When you mean to sell people like Louisiana and New Orleans is supposed to be the same thing? You ever had those conversations with people?
I have not had the conversation with people, but I have seen videos where there's this one video in particular where these two guys are arguing, and he was so adamant that New Orleans and Louisiana were two separate things. He was, and the one guy's telling him, he's like, New Orleans is in Louisiana. He's like, no, there's New Orleans and then there's Louisiana. He's like Baton Rouge is Louisiana. New Orleans is New Orleans. He was like, no, New Orleans is a city. Louisiana is a state. And he was arguing him like his life depended on it, that he was wrong, that New Orleans is not a part of Louisiana.
Clearly he died.
I don't know.
His life, if it depended on it, didn't go well. But Invincible's back.
Invincible is back after how many months?
Was the break? Cliffhanger.
From November was the last episode 4.
Just disrespect for Amazon. Come on. So you did give us some good content in between.
Though. About 4 months.
It felt like forever.
Yeah,
it did. Like forever. So Nolan's birth a baby.
Yeah.
With a bug lady.
Yeah. What are they called? The Thraxons.
He's a little out there, huh? He could find love and first of all, he's an alien, not a human. So who's to say?
So this isn't the first time he's done it.
I think they said Mark is his first son, but at the same time.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying the child that he had with a Thraxon is not the first child that he's had with an alien species compared to his.
Yeah, and who's to say he didn't get it on practicing beforehand? I had to add some extra notes. You don't recognize the song? I can't say it because it's wrong.
It's Kenny G?
You knew it. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You're not just another pretty face spider. Don't let people tell you that.
If that's what you said about me, I will find you and say thank you. But yeah, so he has a child now with this Thraxan.
Oliver, right? Is his name Oliver?
They haven't given him a name yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
See, we getting in the future.
Hey,
you gotta rein it in. Gotta rein it in. We're only talking about episode 5.
Anything can happen on this show.
Only talking about episode 5.
That's the only warning you get.
But so of course there's the big fight between Mark and Nolan and the 3 Viltrumites that came to get Nolan because Nolan has abandoned his post on Earth because he was supposed to be preparing the people of Earth for the Viltrumite invasion.
And right, I gotta ask this question since we're on that right now, and I don't want to forget. How did they know that he abandoned his post?
We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet.
But Alan didn't tell him.
No, Alan didn't tell them. But apparently, word travels through space. But we don't know exactly.
You gotta know the right circles.
Yeah, you gotta know the right circles.
You gotta go to the right cantinas.
No one can hear you scream, right? So there's no sound in the vacuum of space, but
this is what they say.
Yeah, they can hear the whispers all the way to wherever the Viltrumites are.
Yeah, because again, the Viltrumites had this huge civil war to eliminate the weaker Viltrumites, and then somewhere along the line, it was like, okay, this is enough. And so if you survive that long, then you then got assigned a planet to take over.
Which I always wondered, like, when did they feel that they reached a good stopping point?
Probably when they only had a handful left.
Probably.
We got to repopulate. That's what has to happen. So y'all go out and conquer some planets so we can have some populations to go to while we repopulate.
Because they need to find a species with a DNA structure similar enough to their own to where they can reproduce.
Spider, this makes no sense because we know the Viltrumites' DNA is so strong it overthrows any other DNA that it's involved with.
Most other DNA, but yeah.
I heard Nolan tell Invincible, Mark that you're so much Viltrumite, it's almost like you're pure. Like it's their DNA overtakes whoever DNA is involved.
Right.
And they're aging slower. They're getting stronger as they get older. And the caveat is if they get beaten within an inch of their life, they emerge stronger. So Invincible is way stronger now than he was when he started this season 1.
Yeah.
Because he's been getting the brakes beat off his.
Fucking every fight he's in, he get the brakes beat off.
Can he fight? Can he fight?
Like I said, when we talked about the last time we had our Invincible review, the only fight that I think he won was against Titan.
Yeah, of course. Their win-loss record ain't looking good.
Whoever the elephant dude is, because I think he beat the elephant dude a couple times. You just see him flying off in the background. He's holding him by his trunk.
Clearly, he forgets. So I thought the elephant wouldn't forget, but he keeps doing crime. Like if I was doing crime and Invincible was in the city and I keep losing, clearly he has something out for me because you ain't even fighting the Guardians.
Right. Just Invincible by himself.
Like he got you. He waiting for you to step outside and do something wrong. But
you're right. That win-loss record is heavy on the L's.
But when they drop the title card, these guys know how to drop this title card.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the history and transition of the title card.
Right. Because we get to see that progression.
And now we're cleaning it up. Because when it went all black and red, we was like, well, at least me. I was like, gosh. Because the blackness was the blood and it was getting splattered everywhere. Again, for Invincible, getting his swoop every fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time they played with it, you kept waiting for them to drop it, and they was dropping it at all particular times. I'm happy to see that we didn't get away from that.
Yeah, I knew they weren't gonna like go through the entire season doing that because I mean they only
And
did it for episode 1.
can we do it in episode 3? I mean, season 3? Or you think they're
No,
gonna abandon?
no, I don't think they're gonna do that in season 3.
This is all for my audio listeners. The visual ones that's watching know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But yeah. So because of the fight that they had on Thraxia, I forget what the name of the planet was.
One of those is right.
But the Viltrumites basically destroyed everything. They destroyed the colony, they destroyed the city, they destroyed a whole bunch of Thraxans. But they also took Nolan. They took Omni-Man. He's basically a prisoner of the Viltrumites now. And before they left, they told Mark, he said, it is your responsibility to take over where your father left off. You are...
No. He said your father's going to be executed.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, that's part of it too. So, but now the responsibility falls to Mark because Nolan's going to be killed. And because you are his child, then it falls to you. So
first of all, I don't think nobody about to kill Omni-Man. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And second of all, why are they waiting so long to kill Omni-Man if that's the case? Like, why we gotta take you all the way to stand trial? Because clearly they was trying to kill him in a fight.
Way, I guess.
So those lethal blows that they were throwing was only supposed to incapacitate him?
Probably. I mean, you saw in the cave. Mark was able to cut dude's stomach open. No, Nolan came and cut the dude's stomach open with all his intestines was falling out, and he still came back and broke his back.
Those hands are razors.
Yeah,
we done seen him use them hands. Like, didn't he chop?
How many times Mortal got his head chopped off? Oh yeah,
we're gonna talk about the Guardians in a minute, but yeah, go ahead and finish the recap.
So Nolan's to be executed. Mark has to take over. He has 100 days to prepare the Earth for the Viltrumite invasion. And they left him there. So we pick up. Yeah, they just left him there, bleeding Paulo. Oh. And so the last thing
those
L's. But the last thing that Nolan tells Mark before they put him on board is, Mark, read my books. When you get back home, read my books. And so that's the last thing that Nolan says to his son. And so the Thraxans find Mark and they bandage him up. They bring him back to the city. And Marcus, of course, is feeling responsible because if he hadn't been there, then, you know, none of this would ever happen. Or if him and his father hadn't been there, none of this would have happened. So he feels responsible for the destruction of their planet. And Andressa, who's the queen, who was Nolan's, I don't know if they got married or anything, but the mother of Nolan's child.
Yeah, concubine? I don't know.
I want to say,
Lady of the Night.
I think she said my husband at some point.
She could have.
I don't remember.
But he's the emperor, so he could do what he wants. They made him the emperor.
Yeah. But so she said, because Thraxans have such a short lifespan,
9 months,
they don't waste time placing blame. They only just look forward. It's like we don't have time for petty squabbles and like one like rotation of the sun could be like 10 years for them.
Yeah, we need to take a page out the Thraxans books.
Just let it go. Just
let it go.
Move forward.
Let it go. Move forward. Stop looking to place blame.
Don't waste that time and energy on holding grudges.
Yeah.
All it's gonna do is just take the time away. You could be doing something else.
Spider, that was deep, right there. You went deep. Needed a moment, right, fans? All right, I'm back.
Yeah, but Mark stays behind. He helps rebuild the planet, and we can see that it was 2 months later.
They heavily emphasized it was 2 months.
Emphasized that it was 2 months.
You was gone for 2 months, my guy. Everybody said it. Mark's friend said it. Is Zazie Beetz still doing the voice of Amber?
Yes.
Okay, because she sounds different. But Amber said it. I think Adam and Eve caught ear of it.
Maybe
caught ear of it. I think Mark told her.
I know Debbie said it.
Debbie said it. She said it in the weirdest way, though.
Did she?
Like you were gone for 2 months. Like, wow, she apologized for it afterwards, but at the same time, she was like, really got in her feelings. Then Cecil said it.
Well, I mean, I guess because he was gone, and
He was
Cecil was already pissed because he told him not to go, but nobody knew when he was coming back, and of course, Debbie's gonna
well, he
think the
said he was
worst.
gonna be gone for like a week, potentially.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why he does that because it's kind of like Carol Danvers. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna be
Well,
gone for a while.
he was
You
gone.
know, time
He
works
was
differently in
leaving
space.
under the pretenses that he was going to help, save a planet from a meteor storm
Mm-hmm. Surprise, mother.
or a meteor shower, I should say, not a meteor.
He's just gonna punch the
I guess just go into space and
meteor
punch him.
out the sky.
Break it up into smaller pieces so it doesn't
I
hurt
can't.
anybody. I guess I don't know.
It's a lot of meteors.
Try to stop it. I don't.
Pew, 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 pew,
I
pew,
don't know.
pew.
But so he helps him rebuild, and with this being 2 months later, the Thraxans that he came to know during his time there have aged significantly. Andressa knows that she's on her final days, but Nualzot, who is the Thraxan that came to Earth to get Mark, brings Mark the news like, "Hey, we are done with building the spaceship. You can finally go home." And Mark's like, "Well, no, I can't go home. I still have to help you guys rebuild." Like, you have your whole life back on Earth. We can't hold you here. So, you're free to go home. And Andressa asked for him to take his brother because he ages slower like a Viltrumite, but he's still faster because he's part Thraxan. So by the time he's an adult,
it's still faster for them, slower for him. So she was saying she could be dead before he even get teeth.
Right.
I was like, wow.
And so she said about
generations.
Yeah, big generations before he's even an adult, and every Thraxan that he currently knows will be all dead and gone.
That's horrible. That's a short lifespan. You right. They really don't have time to be mad about nothing.
No.
You step on my J's. It's like, oh, okay.
Like I said, you miss a day, you go from 10 to 20 in minutes.
And notice the technology though, they're not wasting no time.
No, absolutely not.
They serious. They got jetpacks.
But so we also get to see that the Guardians of the Galaxy having to deal because Mark said the Guardians of the Globe. Forgive me. But they say, "Oh, well, you need to get home." And Mark says, "Well, they have a whole bunch of superpower people back on Earth. They'll be fine without me." And so we see all of the Guardians of the Globe,
Immortal and the crew.
And who was it that they were going up against?
Some crazy Skeletor looking super giant type of individual.
Yeah. I forget what his name is.
I don't know what his name
he announced his name.
You have
when
to.
he came out, yeah. Because they have to know who they're fighting.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Megatron comes out in the Transformers movie. Like, I am Megatron. Like, dude, we know.
I mean, Optimus Prime do it too. He do it at the end of every movie. I am Optimus Prime.
Like, who you doing this for?
How many recordings?
But at least in Optimus Prime, she's always making recordings.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the captain's
message
law.
goes out to all the Autobots.
Like, where they at?
Autobots in space. God damn, he calling me again. Send on the voicemail.
Don't know. He like DJ Khaled for a Drake feature. Like, golly, dude. But it's interesting though, because every time there's another Transformer, you see different Autobots.
Right.
And some look like animals that have been there the whole time. That decided that they didn't even want to talk to Optimus. I know they heard the messages.
Right.
So they got a good point in the show, Spider. It's like Omni-Man just destroys worlds and don't really deal with the aftermath. I don't know if that's accurate this time. I don't think he was trying to destroy the world. He actually brought Mark there to help him fight because he knew the Viltrumites were coming.
Yes.
And so when they got there, he was telling Mark, you need to fight like a Viltrumite. because you hold him back. And
And
Mark is
they're
like,
going
I
to
don't
kill you.
kill. But it's like, you might don't kill. That don't mean they don't kill.
Right.
And they coming to kill. And I don't want my little son to die. So I need your help. And that was the whole purpose of him calling him up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, Mark's still pissed off because you said my mother was a pet. She doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. You basically annihilated like a large population of people on
Right.
Earth.
He let him have it when he made it to Thraxa. He was happy to
Beat.
see his dad. You know, you still have love for your father,
Mm-hmm.
but no, he was like, you know what? Fuck you.
Oh, when they dropped the F bomb,
Yeah.
it was magical because it was a raw emotion.
Yeah.
But to come to that point now and now have conflicted feelings again because your dad's now taken, you know he's going to be murdered, and you know the Viltrumites are coming to Earth. It's not looking good for Earth. It's just not right now because, again, we'll get into the Guardians. If y'all didn't see it and y'all came to see us first, Spider, wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow. So Mark's back home and he's bringing his brother and introducing his brother to his mom and giving his mom the 411 and letting her know not only that Nolan's alive, but he has a new son who's purple, by the way.
He is purple.
So you can't really just be seen out in public with this purple baby, which I don't really know why not, because we're in a world there, they have
They have
superheroes that
superheroes.
exist,
Right.
and all of them don't look human.
True.
And they had alien invasions.
Yes.
So it's not like it's so disjointed if there was a purple baby.
I guess it's a matter of Debbie having to explain who the
I
baby
think the
is.
world knows that she was Omni Man's wife. I mean,
No, they didn't know.
they
Because
do
remember,
know
no,
because
no, no,
even
no.
the real estate guy, what's his name? The real
Well,
estate guy.
I think he knows because remember when she went to that support meeting and she
No,
took.
they didn't know.
Yeah, they
No, you're
didn't. Well,
right.
I'm saying I don't think it's not public knowledge.
No, it's not until she said that she was Omni Man's
Well,
wife.
and
He
then
was like, I think you
is
should
that
leave.
the thing about it is that the real estate company just knows that her husband died. They didn't
Mm.
necessarily know that he was Omni Man. Still, I don't see how anybody would see Nolan and see Omni Man and not know that that's the same person because
He don't even wear
he didn't
glasses.
make any attempt to hide his identity at
No, he
all.
don't have the Superman curl. He don't have glasses on. He's
Nothing.
like, I'm J.K. Simmons.
Yes, pretty much.
And that's what it is. Man. So she has to accept the fact not only that he's alive, but he's fathered another child. And now we have to watch this child. And they're trying to figure it out because it's a baby. And that baby needs attention and love and support and
Right.
attention and a lot of attention. Mark's in college. Debbie's working. Who go watch this kid?
Right.
So they're trying to figure that out while Cecil in the meantime is trying, he wants to get his hands on this kid so he can see what the kid could do and how can he exploit this kid. Cecil is like Nick Fury if Nick Fury didn't care about any goddamn thing.
Right.
Because Cecil's cold with it, man. He
Cecil
is.
cares. He I can't even say that he cares. He shows concern, but I don't think he
Definitely.
cares.
I think he does care, but the reason that he goes so hard is because he does care. And he knows that when we're out, gunned out man, and he's trying to do the best he can with what he can find. Like, I think he was devastated when Omni Man killed the Guardians the first time. And he leans on Immortal because he knows he's probably the only one that he could bring back.
Yeah.
Damn. So now they decide that Mark's back. Mark's going, see his people because he's been gone for 2 months. In case you didn't know, it's been two months, Spider, since he's been gone. It's been 2 whole months. And so he sees Amber after he saw what's his friend's name, college friend.
Is it Will?
I think it's Willie West, something like that. Stuff definitely with a W. He
Yeah.
comes back to college and he's like, "Why'd you lock the window?" He's like, "I locked the window after this sorcery dog bug came through here.
Right.
Sick of that happening, so I don't want none of that."
Right.
And then he says, "Well, I'm back. There's a letter to see the dean because he's on academic
He was like, I
probation."
thought you were supposed to cover for me. He was like, yeah, I did in the beginning, but you were gone for 2 months. It's like, how you expect him to cover for you for 2 months?
Like, what type of lie am I supposed to say? You got food poisoning for 2 months?
Can't have that much food poisoning.
Oh man, I was gonna throw somebody under the bus, but I didn't do it. I'm proud of myself. So he said he's going to see Amber, and he goes to see Amber, and then Amber's, getting on with her life. She got a little study group going on. So they're good to see each other. Didn't have the reaction like I thought they was going to have, because if I ain't seen my girl in 2 months.
Yes, William.
Kenny G. Extra notes. So after that happens, what happens? They get the word of these aliens coming, Martians coming from Mars.
The Sequits.
The
Omnipotus. That was his.
Who is it?
The dude at the beginning, the big dude, skull face, Omnipotus.
Yeah.
If y'all are watching this video and you just see me distracted looking over here, that's me frantically searching because I couldn't find what his name was.
And if you see me doing something important, it's probably dealing with this cup.
But so we get, because if you watch season 1, you know there was a mission to Mars. There were astronauts on Mars that they needed.
That's right.
They were in distress. They needed to be rescued because they basically found this Martian colony, and the Martians took them prisoner because they use these Sequids as servants. And the only reason that they're able to use them as servants is because the Sequids are hive mind, but they can't penetrate the Martian skin. So the Martians can do whatever they want with them. Humans, on the other hand, we have very soft, squishy skin. So if something, pokes us, then it will go straight through. So
or we'll bleed.
And we will bleed. But so the Martians took the astronauts because if the Sequids were to get to them, they would basically revolt because now they actually have a host to control them. And as long as no one's controlling them, they have no power. They have no, free will. They just do what the Martians tell them to do. But because there's this one Martian, when that happened, who wanted a new life, or he was tired of the way that things were going on Mars, he knocked out one of the astronauts, took his place because Martians can shapeshift. We've seen that with John Jones and Martian Manhunter in DC.
Shout out JJ.
But so he took the astronaut's place and he came back to Earth. And through a whole series of events, he ended up being on the Guardians of the Globe because he was inspired by the super. And so now, because that astronaut that he knocked out was attached to by a Sequid, he's now the leader of the hive mind.
Kind of like whatchamacallit in Rick and Morty. The president of Rick and Morty when Unity came back.
Oh, the other
when she had to cut off, she had to cut off a piece of herself, but she didn't return them properly because they were stuck under the dome. And then the president, trying to get the approval rate, went down there and basically let him throw up in his mouth, and he became the leader of that hive mind.
Yeah.
And then Unity had to come back and assimilate everybody.
I don't remember.
Thank goodness we didn't have that in this show.
Yeah, we didn't need, the vomit exchange.
Yes, gross.
But so the Martians are not coming to Earth because they have knowledge of Earth because they attach themselves to an Earthling. So they know that they can attach themselves to humans. Where do they have the most humans? Earth. So they're coming to take over. And so Cecil goes to the Guardians of the Globe and he's like, look, there's this huge ship that's coming our way and we need to go take care of it. Problem is, we don't know what it is. And so Shapesmith is, well, no, they did say it was confirmed to be Martian. Yeah. And so
it was like only if there was a Martian here.
Because when they were fighting Omnipotus, Shapesmith got kind of knocked out and he reverted back to his Martian form, and Black Samson saw him, but right when he was, because he was kind of groggy, he's coming to, and Shapesmith changed back to a human person. But kudos to Black Samson. He didn't call him out. He wasn't like, he didn't out him. He didn't snitch on him or anything like that. He just kept it close to his chest. And so when Cecil said it was a Martian ship, he was like, if only someone, here had any knowledge about Martian technology, or if there was a Martian here. And so of course everybody's looking at Shapesmith. And so Shapesmith decides to confess that he's a Martian.
Gotta come clean.
Gotta come clean. He's like, I'm sorry, I've lied to you. I am not a male human man. And so Caesar was like, yeah, no shit, we know you're a Martian. You think we would have really let you be a part of the Guardians of the Globe if we didn't know everything about you? Now tell us what you know about this damn ship.
Facts.
And then Black Samson was like, all y'all knew? That's kind of fucked out.
Well, he's not the only black guy, so.
No, he's not. But I can imagine Bulletproof. Bulletproof don't seem like he's the brightest bulb.
I don't think Bulletproof care.
That could also be true.
Punched that other one.
Yeah, and he just fucked everything up. He pulled a Star-Lord.
Even worse. Even worse.
But so Shapesmith basically goes into explaining everything that everything about the Sequits. But before that, we get a training session between Monster Girl and Duplicate. And we know, if you watch season 1, every time Monster Girl transforms into a monster and she reverts back to a human, she comes back younger. I don't remember like the percentage or like how much she's de-aging herself.
They don't go into all of that, but
yeah, so she
you'll know when she have a diaper on.
Hopefully they come to that. But she de-ages herself every time she transforms because of the magic. And so
that's what Rudy the robot is trying to prevent.
Yeah, Rudy has been studying and tracking her transformations and trying to analyze to see exactly how he can counteract the magic that's de-aging her. Because we in the first part of the season, we saw that they went on a date. The reason that Rudy created a human body for himself was because he was developing feelings for Monster Girl. And of course, she couldn't date anyone who's actually her age because she looks like a child. When it'd be all kinds of weird. But
I don't even want to touch it.
So Rudy and Monster Girl went out on a date. They went to the movies. And so
here's a question that I have. They haven't gone on another date in 2 months? Even if we're picking up where we left off, which there was some time between that date and now, that date had to have been pretty bad. You let 2 months pass since. Think about when you were dating. Would you let 2 months pass if y'all was in the same city, same area?
I mean, working co-workers, pretty much.
Yeah, but you don't want to grab a pizza after work, like we just attacked this guy or this base, or just survived this near-death experience. We can't go and grab some spaghetti or pasta. I mean Olive Garden got all the bread and salad and breadsticks you could eat.
Yeah, but I think at this point, I think that Monster Girl likes Rudy as a friend because I think that she went out on a date with him because, like I said, she is of a point to where she feels lonely because she can't associate with anybody her age because they still look at her like a child. And so with Rudy sort of being, still on the same intellectual level with her, but also now that he's in a child's body, they can hang out together and not, be able to talk, have a conversation, and not look weird. But I don't think that she's doing it because she is romantically attracted to him. She's doing it just for socialization's sake. So I can see that her not wanting to go on another date because she's not trying to turn it into that.
And he was having some emotional problems, which is why he's no longer the leader of the team.
Yeah,
so
he couldn't. He started developing fear. He felt that as a sentient robot who is now in a human body, he didn't feel like he could regulate his emotions. Then he turned the leadership over to
So are we looking at a situation where we're gonna see Robot or whatever you call this name,
Rudy.
whatever he's going about? I'm trying to make fun of how Rex said
Oh.
it. um, are we gonna see a full character development, as in cold calculated to human emotion, then over the events of what happens in Rudy's life as a human, go back to being cold and calculated? Because the way he acquired his whole body, again, if you guys haven't watched season one, was very cold and calculated. He took
Yeah.
advantage of the twins and he was like, huh, y'all go do this.
Right.
Or y'all go die.
But I think that, you know, at some point he's going to lean more into the humanity side of it,
Have
and
to.
then the, I guess, the calculating side of it. Because I said he was a sentient robot. I forget that he was actually a body that was just controlling the robot. And he transformed because he was like in the ball and like
Right.
figured and
Yeah.
everything.
Looking like
He looked like from Total Recall, the guy that was in the other guy's stomach.
ew, gross.
I don't know if y'all, the
The
original Total
fudge.
Recall with Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. If y'all seen
Yeah.
it, y'all know what I'm talking about.
It looked
Um,
like the thing, the brain from Teenage Mutant Ninja
oh,
Turtles that was
Crane,
in Crane. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Ew.
but I think that I don't want to say I think, but you know, because I already
Well, you do that a lot, so there's
I
no
read the
shame
end
in
of it,
saying it.
but there with his character, you can't imagine that he doesn't slide back to
The
being
calculated side.
calculated
Yeah.
because it's just the nature. I think that's just his nature. That if he can't understand something emotionally, then he's going to look at it from a logical perspective.
Yeah, it's super analytical. Because he's really trying to help. He's saying that by her training like this, you're putting unnecessary wear and tear on the fact that she's only going to have so many transformations.
Right. And you're wasting them on training sessions.
But Monster Girl is not trying to hear that.
No.
She's independent. She's like, he doesn't have to count my transformations. That's
And
my
you
job.
shouldn't be either.
Why
But
you worrying
Immortal
about my
also
business?
shut him down. He's like, of course, I know the powers and abilities and
Of
the
my
weaknesses of
team?
all of my entire team.
And he's sleeping with his team members, so
And he is.
there's that. Duplicate, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So now that they've learned everything about the Sequids, they know that they can't they penetrate humans. So they select a team of people who do not have penetratable skin.
Right.
So you have Immortal, you have Bulletproof, you have Monster Girl, you have Shape Smith because he's Martian,
Mm-hmm.
Black Samson,
That's right.
and yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. Then they threw in Monster Girl and Robot.
Yeah, and then Rudy because Rudy. Well, originally Cecil told Rudy to stay behind, but Rudy was like, "Oh, because Monster Girl was going, of course he wants to go."
Of
But
course.
so he said, you know, they won't be able to pierce my skin while I'm in my robot suit.
And
So
then
he's like,
Rex,
"Okay, Rudy, you could go."
out of character, said by him, had an idea to bring in Adam Eve.
Yes,
Thank God that he did.
thank God that he did. And so Rex sneaks into Adam Eve's room because Eve is back at her parents' house because she had sort of an existential crisis in part one because we know that in season one she kind of gave up being on team after she found Rex cheating on her with Kate,
Mm-hmm.
and excuse me, so she kind of started doing her own thing as far as being like a climate
Like a
activist.
freelance.
Yeah. And so she was out on her own. She was living in the rainforest and all this other kind of stuff, just kind of doing a whole humanitarian thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
she was trying to help people, but it just started turning out that every time she tried to help, things started getting worse. So she sort of reluctantly moved back home after, you know, kind of having a falling out with her parents because she just kind of
Mm-hmm.
felt defeated at that
Mm-hmm.
point. And so we see her just kind of going through the motions of just kind of living life. And so she goes up to her room and she finds Rex there. And of course, she's like, "Why are you here?" And so he breaks it down to her and lets her know what's going on. It's like, but she's saying that she doesn't want to try right now because every time she tries to do something, she fucks it up. She tried to, help the park in Chicago. It was on a faulty
Unstable.
foundation. People,
Right.
but the way she said, people could have gotten hurt. So
Yeah.
nobody got hurt, but the probability of someone getting hurt is something that she's afraid of. And then she was
Which is crazy
fighting.
because she just saved two people off the bridge.
Right, but she didn't. She felt that she's the one that put them in danger because she
Mm.
was fighting. What was this?
Yeah, she was getting real cocky with him.
Yeah, and because she was already having a day, and she could have easily just kind of apprehended them and stopped them, but she didn't
Don't play with your
because
food.
the mood that she was in. Kill Cannon, that was his name. But so she, they ended up getting to a bridge, and so Kilcannon was causing all kind of destruction. One of the cars went off the bridge. She wasn't able to catch them, but she was still able to get them out of the car. And so Rex told her, he was like, "Those two people that you saved, they're gonna make a full recovery." And but
Mm-hmm.
Eve doesn't want to hear it. She's like, "If I wasn't there, they would have been fine. They wouldn't have to go to the hospital at all." And so Rex, I guess this is the quote of the episode. He's like, "To fuck up is human," or I think Shakespeare said it or some shit like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, he's
Well,
saying, we're not perfect. We're gonna mess
no.
up. We fuck up all the
Yeah, we
time,
are. All the time.
and it's what you learn from your fuck ups that makes you a better
Defines you.
person.
Definitely.
So he
Don't stop
convinces,
at fucking up.
yeah,
Then stop at the realization of why you fucked up and learn from it.
exactly.
Well, what you're seeing is an asshole with a heart of gold.
We're seeing character growth. I mean,
There
we
you
kind of
go.
saw it in the last part too. I think once Rex got cheated on
Really
because he
humbled
was
him, huh?
dating Kate. I mean, I don't even know if they were really dating or they were a couple. I think they were just kind of dating, because I think Rex was like talking about how Kate cheated on him, but she was like, "Well, we weren't really even together."
Yeah.
So she was free
The
to sleep
mother
with
knows
who she wanted
how to
with
put
and
it
all that other
down.
kind of stuff. But
Centuries of knowledge.
I think that kind of yeah, centuries of knowledge. But I think that kind of put Rex in a different headspace of being more mature. So we see
Mm-hmm.
Rex not being as much of an asshole, in these more recent episodes. But so he convinces Eve to come along. So Eve shows up. She's on the ship. Cecil convinces Mark
Recruits.
to go.
Mark the show. Yeah.
And because he said, I need you to go back to space. He's like,
I
you were
just
just
got
pissed
that.
because I was gone in space for 2 months and I
Mm-hmm.
just got back. You need me to go again. So he breaks it down, tells him about the sequence and everything. He's like, you've dealt
Mm-hmm.
with them. You were on Mars and you know about them. So we need your help again. And so he tells his mom, he's like, look, I gotta go again. Mark's education is just fucking, it's down
It's
the
like,
drain.
it's like Rick and Morty. Like, why do you even go to school?
Right. Why did he even go to school? And I mean, he even said, I can just take a year off from school so he could watch his little brother. But Debbie said, no, you got to go back to school. But I mean, he's still not even going to school.
At this point in time, man, there's a lot going on this version of Earth. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff going, invasions and invasions.
Right.
Like, we
Because
got it.
you had the time aliens invasion, and then you
Uh
had
huh.
the guy at the school while he was making the robot zombies and shit.
Uh huh. And let's
It's
not forget the multi-dimensional Sterling Brown character. That's
Angstrom Levy. Yeah, we don't
Angstrom.
at this
Yeah,
point we don't really know what the fuck he is.
he's coming, and it'll be an invasion of some sort.
Yeah, but so
And the Viltrumites are coming to
and
invade.
yeah,
Okay.
they'll be here.
Invasion,
They'll be here.
invasion, invasion.
Yeah, so Earth is
That's
not
all I'm saying.
looking good right now. But so they go up. They're flying out to Mars. They're on a regular NASA space shuttle,
Yeah, I wouldn't
and
expect nothing different.
so they approach the Martian ship, and at the very last second, Shape Smith is like, "Oh well, if we get close to them, they're going to see us as a threat, and they're going to fire us. They're going to fire on us."
Yeah.
And I think it was. either Black
Robot was
Samson.
saying that we're gonna turn our engine off and just float to them like a piece of space debris that we're so small they'll never see us coming.
Right.
And that's when she was like, "No, our tech is like really advanced."
Yeah, and like they'll know that we're us, and they're gonna blow us up with missiles. And it was either Bulletproof or Black Samson was like, "Are you? And you're just telling us this now?" And he was like, "Yes, I am just telling you this now,
right now."
Just no concept of
and there are the missiles I was talking about.
And the missiles. I think it was Black Samson because I think Bulletproof was like, "Do we have any like? Can't we just fire back?" And Robot's like, "This isn't Star Trek. We don't have that." Which is funny because
because he was like, we don't have shields."
Yeah, no. He's like, "This isn't Star Trek." But shout out to the joke because Zachary Quinto, who played Spock in the newest version of the Star Trek movies, he voices Robot.
Nice. Live long and prosper.
Yes, live long and prosper.
They had a thumb room.
But so the missiles are coming. They have no way to fight against that. So Eve, like you said, thank God Eve was here because, I mean, Mark would have survived, and
yes, Mark has been known to survive in space.
Would have been able to survive because Mark knows how to hold his breath in space.
Again, Immortal would have survived, but we got to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And if nobody kept collecting all those pieces,
yeah,
I wonder if there's a situation where they not had all the pieces and he just healed. Like there's pieces of Immortal somewhere on Earth or in the fight.
He was pretty much dead as long as his head was separated from his body, because the twins brought him back, but he had no chance of coming back before they put his head back on him.
That's not true because Omni-Man squished his head like a pumpkin, and they brought him back.
Yeah, because they reformed it or something. I don't know. I don't know how they did.
The pieces got to get.
Was that the same? Was that the same Immortal?
I believe it was the same Immortal.
No, because
you said that was a different dimension Immortal.
Yeah, because remember he cut him in half first, and then he squished his head. That was the alternate dimension Immortal, where Invincible and Omni-Man had teamed up.
Clearly, Invincible not the only one taking them L's, because the
Immortal is taking some L's too.
He's taking a lot of L's.
But so Eve grabs them all together, creates a force field bubble around them. So once the ship blows up, they're fine. And so,
they're not fine. She can only hold it for a certain amount of time.
I mean, they're not blown up. So I would say,
Robot, like we got 10 minutes. Eve was like, I don't know if I can hold this for 10 minutes. Right. Y'all heavy.
So everybody who could fly pushed them toward the ship, and Eve just fades them through the wall.
How crazy is that?
But I mean, she could rearrange things on a molecular level.
She could rearrange atoms. So I was like, the level of concentration to be able to hold this sphere, and you gotta imagine that the atoms were trying to crush to get back to its original, and she's like manipulating them to slide through, to phase them through.
Yeah, because it wasn't like she was just going through a window and there's just like a little plate of glass and like she's in it now. They were like going through a metal hull of a ship.
Thickness. And she's rearranging everyone's molecules to the atom to go through it.
People,
if you don't realize how strong she is, that's crazy. I'm watching this. I'm like, yo, she could really just kill everything right now. That's why they had to knock her out.
Right. Because they had to put themselves in some kind of danger. Had she not been knocked out, she could have just, it might have took a whole lot of energy, but I guess because it depends on how many seconds they had. Because there was a lot of them. There was millions.
Clearly, it was millions of them. Because once Bulletproof punched you, like, ew.
Yeah, he like, ugh, and then punched one. And Marsh was like, you idiot. It's like they're a hive mind. Now
they all know you here.
Now all of them know that you're here.
And it was out.
Rumble. Yeah, the Martian was like, fuck this, we gone.
I'm out of this, man.
Like, this is y'all problem.
Crazy. And they came in with no hesitation. It was just nasty.
Yeah.
Ew.
So they're trying to fight the sequence off as much as they can, but of course there's too many of them. They're being overpowered. a robot charges like this EMP type pulse that knocks them out momentarily. And they're like, okay, well, just try to squish as many as we can while they're dead, or while they're knocked out. And it really didn't do anything. But they get up, they start overpowering them again. Everybody comes back together. Eve throws a shield dome around them, and robot is like, well, I can use. He jumps out, so he's vulnerable now. But so he says, I can use my robot suit to amplify the EMP blast and, effectively neutralize all of them. But how long is it going to take?
At least longer.
Oh yeah, at least longer. How long do you need? 5 minutes. Right.
A lot of pressure. There's millions of these little squiggly octopus tentacle brain invading aliens, which they've already. Again, we didn't talk about how what's his name, Shapeshift. We said how he knocked out the astronaut and took his place, but they even questioned, well, where's the real astronaut?
Right.
And he was saying, well, my people were right behind me. You thought they was going to get him.
They thought they were going to just kill him.
And that's not who got him. The Squiddies got him. So now he's the leader of the hive mind, and here he comes in saying, hey, I remember you, Invincible. Right. I couldn't penetrate your skin, but that's all right. We're going to Earth where I'll penetrate everybody's skin. Yeah. So they know it's serious. We got to stop this thing before it gets to Earth. So stakes are high.
Stakes are incredibly high.
You've been saying, listen, these things touch ground, they're going to enslave us forever.
It is absolutely over.
We'll be under their control. And goodbye, free will.
Yep.
Goodbye, America. Goodbye, everything. Goodbye, Earth.
Yes.
So Invincible steps up. He's like, listen, I just got back, but I ain't got time to rest. If I got to help save my girlfriend live here on this planet,
right?
My friend, I can't just let him just get taken over. Because remember, it's the hero's calling. He's not in danger at all. He could easily just take his mom and his brother and fly off and be somewhere else, but he's choosing to fight. So he's now in the fight. Get to talking to Adam and Eve, give her the whole backstory, and now we're in the fight. And now, that's the goddamn episode.
No, not the whole episode.
No, the B story kicks in because when the team goes off into space,
we're left with Rexplode, duplicate, and shrinking ray.
Yeah. Who's the Rex has said, now I'm the alpha dog now. Right. I'm in charge. It's like calling shotgun. I'm in charge now that, Immortal is out. I'm the next ranking member.
So he's like, we'll be fine. All the big guns are gone pretty much. I'm like, we'll be all right. What's the chance of 2 major world-ending events happening at the same time? Cecil pops up on the screen.
I think that was a huge meta joke.
Yeah.
Because, when you have an A line and a B line, you don't have 2 A lines, storylines. But, man.
This was big enough to be another, an A1 and an A2.
So, earlier in the episode, we've seen the Lizard Society, which I'm pretty sure is a play. The Lizard League?
Yeah, the Lizard League, because it's a play on the Serpent Society.
I was going to say the same thing. So the accents there, which again, listen, Spider, we watched Invincible, and it really wasn't feeling like Invincible until the league showed up. Because remember, in the first pilot of Invincible, they had those 2 security guards talking, and then the twins came out the ground and basically started murdering people.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, this is not Disney.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. It wasn't that Invincible gory vibe. This is like the first real scene that we get, because
back into that blood splatter.
Even with the Omnipotous fight, we only got really just one. We got the introduction of Omnipotous, and I forget what he said. Something like you will bow down before me or something like that. And they just pan over through all the Guardians of the Globe and Immortal just standing there. No. But the only other scene that we got from...
I forget what he said, but yeah, the Immortal response was clever. It's like, no.
But the only real like scene we got from that was when Shapesmith, got knocked out and reverted back to the Martian form. So we didn't really even get like any kind of fighting with that. So yeah, no, you're right. We get to see these two guards. The one guard is just kind of just standing guarding his post, and he hears some sounds in the in the
Break room.
background or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he turns around and this is his other coworker. He's like, "Look, man, I skipped lunch. I was just trying to get a snack."
Yeah, he's like, you almost got your head blown off.
Right. He's like, "I almost came here, blew you away."
And then next thing you know, out of nowhere, this guy is turned to a donut. He has a huge hole in him.
Yeah.
From one of the Lizard Society League's female assassins, I'm gonna call her. She like Lady Deathstrike from X-Men.
Something like
But
it.
she runs her and then sliced the neck of the other guy. I'm like, oh, we're watching Invincible.
And he was so desperately trying to get to his gun. He just could. I mean, at that point, you're terrified. He couldn't even bring his weapon up to fire.
I can't see how that wouldn't be a reality if they had superhuman people walking amongst us, because we're still in the awe. Because you're looking at this female, like, is she dressed in a snakeskin outfit? And next thing you know, you're bleeding from the neck. Even when you're trying to get your gun, you're like, oh my God.
Right. And you think
violent.
They're in
sexy but violent.
A nuclear facility.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that, okay, we have super villains in this world. Why don't we get some, I don't know, some superpowered people to protect our like infrastructure, like our power plants, our hydroelectric dams, all those big stereotypical places that villains tend to try to take over. Why not have a little bit of extra security in these places?
Logic time. That's what we're gonna start calling these segments. These segments where we just apply logic to whatever we're reviewing. Here's a real question. Two questions since you bringing the logic into the logic segment.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 months.
Yes.
Why we haven't fixed the house across the street from Mark?
Look, ain't even nobody buy that property yet.
It's already for the government. Cecil owns that house. They could have been started rebuilding. If you were rebuilt,
did they really
wouldn't have storyline C, which we have storyline C
with Donald.
Donald's realizing that he's not a real. He's get the backstory of what happened to him. His brain was intact. Omni-Man was in the explosion. His body mashed half the explosion. They found his brain. He said his body was just kind of mangled. They took his brain and put it into an android, well, a robot.
Yeah.
And now Donald's having
nightmares
because he can't
because he doesn't know
what's happened to him.
Right. It's to get the news that you died, but you have no memory of it. And now you find out that you are not human anymore, but you still have your consciousness where you remember you being human. How do you cope with that?
And that's what we see him struggling with. But he's coming out of his own self because, again, he took control. He's not passive aggressive like he was before.
No.
You seen how he command the room? Like, everybody get
everybody out.
I said it. I ain't gonna say it again. He didn't say it like that, but yeah, the emphasis was there.
And that's how Cecil knew he meant business. He was like, okay, what's this about?
Yeah, but again, I don't think Cecil, he was cold in his reaction, but I think it was like, his response was, would you rather be dead?
Right.
I mean, I know this is a lot for you to process, but it was either that or die. Like, It was just that, because if he was cold, he would have let him die. But then again, True. Donald was like, would you have, like, you didn't give me the memories. And then Cecil was like, we think it was better for you not to have PSD. Like, why would we give you those memories? And he's like, better for who? Better for you? So I could be your little lackey? Like, and you just get this.
Do you want to have, these psychological breakdowns because you have the memory of you dying and then, you're brought back to life?
And that's still what's happening because he's having a memory of the android or the robot choking him out until, I don't know why that whole staff is just mean to women, but apparently that's what they allow in that organization.
What do you mean to?
Well, but both of them was yelling at the lady. It was like, sir.
Oh, well, they were both just
sirs.
Upset.
What about later on when Donald was yelling at her too?
He wasn't yelling at her.
She's
She
like,
woke him
sir.
up. She woke him up,
She
and
probably
he was
saved
just
his
like,
life.
what's happening?
Mm. What's happening was
Lizard
that we
League about to
have
blow some shit up.
the Lizard League about to go ham because they broke into the facility because they're about to,
They're holding
take the
him for ransom.
whole
New
government for
York,
hostage.
Los Angeles,
And
Chicago,
Chicago, Chi-Town,
Chi-Town.
not the Shy.
Chi-Town about to get nuked.
You know you was gonna nuke them first. He hate, hate good
But did they
music
even
and
say what
good
they
food.
wanted?
They never got into it. It was a part of the plan for the alarm to go off because
Yeah.
they just moved the timetable up. So they were just kind of waiting to get in contact with them, and they were going to list off their demands. But the only leader that was going to be a part of the league, the Lizard League, was King Lizard versus the other lizard that he killed. So they didn't say what they want. In fact, I don't even think the remainder of the team was there. They had barricaded all the other entryways. There was only one way to get in, and then what's her name? The shrinking one?
Shrinking Ray
Came through like little, like a little mosquito, a little fly, a
to
little
be
ant.
fair, kind of like Ant-Man.
I wasn't gonna say it because I always jump universes like hopscotch. So I was trying to stay in the Invincible one. So
But
she comes through.
Ant-Man, the Atom, there are a lot of shrinking superheroes.
What's your girl from Generation V?
Gen V. Oh, God, what's her name? She didn't really have a superhero name. I don't know, but I know you're talking about.
There you go. So all those shrinking ones. So she comes in and
She hit the button. She let him in.
Opens the door. Rex was like, die. Rex to me, he let out a real mean worthy call to action. Now he's like, die quick, my pizza's getting cold. I was like, yeah, that's all badass.
Yeah.
Die quick, my pizza's getting cold. And then they go to fight.
And so now, they come in with the preconceived notion that the Lizard League are pushovers. This is simple. Because King Lizard broke out of jail and took the Lizard League over from, I forget what the Serpent Supreme.
Yeah,
I think was what they called it.
Something like that.
Something around.
He had the G.I. Joe Cobra Commander outfit on.
Yeah. No, it's King Lizard that has like the higher pitched voice. But
I'm just saying the headdress that he had with the little fangs and
yeah. But so King Lizard broke out of jail, just came back and shot him straight in the head. He's like, look,
the disrespect is real.
I am tired of Lizard League taking L's. The Lizard League should be the only L's that we have, just those two, and that's it. So we about to change some shit around here. So Duplicate, Shrinking Ray, Rexplode, they're all fighting these three lizards.
And bloody fight. Gory fight. I don't know what the guy name was. He was just
beating the
crap out of Duplicate.
Komodo Dragon. That's what he was.
He living up to that name.
Yeah.
He was just like, now she's holding her own. And if everybody knows, y'all know, as long as there's a copy of her, she can duplicate herself.
Right.
But there needs to be one of her.
And they did a great job of showing like what numbers were being, which numbers were where. And they, of course, they made a point to let you know always where number one was. Because that number one, that's where all the copies are coming from.
That's the source.
So if number one goes, that's it.
Well, not if number one goes, if there's not a one to pull from,
right?
That's it,
right?
And she got caught up in a bad way. Kimono was choking her out, and she was calling for Rex to help, and she was like dealing with the lady that turned your boy into a shish kebab, the security guy.
Yeah,
and then the shrinking chick was dealing with the right
because Shrinking Ray took one out because she shrunk down small enough and went to his eye and then blew up his brain.
I instantly thought a little Tic Tac from Gen V when that happened. I thought she was going to come out the ear, but she came out the eye.
Yeah.
So, I see like, you, my guy.
His whole eye out.
You don't need that no more.
She gave him that black bolt treatment.
You're dead.
Yeah. But so she's bloody. She comes out. Rex is fighting a woman, and he's kind of getting his ass handed to him, but he's still kind of holding his own, throwing his
Right.
explosions and everything.
Right.
And I forget how she died.
Well, he threw a exploding stick at him
Oh, okay. And then they
and
like cut her in half, right?
caught it in the midsection.
Yeah. So that was her.
So
She got
energy
taken out.
stick.
So Komodo
Right.
Dragon
But
was the last one. So they're trying to figure out, get into, beating him. And so, like you said, Kate's in a bad way. He's got one, and she's calling for help because he's choking her. And so they come back, and Rex starts throwing some stuff at him. And so Kate starts to get free. So she realizes that one, she's the only one left. So let me start making duplicates again. Komodo Dragon, when she goes to duplicate herself, catches the other duplicate and just fucking symbol smash.
Shows you why Invincible is Invincible, the show. Because the creative ways that they go into
he was ripping them apart. Like that room is littered with Kate pieces.
Even more so when he tried to put the pieces together. She's on the ground and she's twitching and she's bleeding, and it's no other than Amazon Prime that can bring this to you, baby. And you like, wait, did we just see another Guardian die? And it's like, Kate.
Because I mean, episode 1, we saw all of the Guardians get killed.
Right, so we're now here again. Like Guardians are dying. Like this is not just a regular mission. This is a top tier mission. Like we're losing Guardians, and just when we think the shrinking chick is about to come in because she shrinks and Komodo eats her.
Yeah, she goes to try to do the same thing, but he's like, nope, none of that. Caught. Why? Because I mean, I really feel like he could have just crushed her and he would have been done with it.
He's like, nope. I'm gonna show you how bad I am. I'm gonna eat you
down the gullet, and then starts chewing.
Of course, because she's delicious, apparently. But Rex is like, you idiot,
right?
She doesn't just shrink. So we waiting for this big giant Ant-Man Civil War scene for the shrinking chick to come
bust out.
Yeah, because you see him just dealing with it. You see his neck start to protrude. And he's like, oh, she about to break through his skin. There's about to be an explosion. And next thing you know,
he just fucking pushes it back. How? I have no clue. How do you have control over your internal structure to where you can
drops blood out his mouth and say, yummy, yum. And Rex knows it's real now.
Yeah. He's like, holy shit.
Is this happening? Is this happening? He throws his sticks. Them sticks ain't doing nothing.
Right. He just watches 2 friends get murdered right in front of them. And so, of course, he goes into a blind rage. He just starts throwing everything, trying to fight him. Komodo Dragon, he's about to throw something. Komodo Dragon catches his hand, bites the hand off.
Oh,
and so he just got a stump of arm right now, screaming, hollering because you lost your hand. So naturally, so.
Now he did light his explosion.
Right, he had charged a little disc or a little ball.
Yeah.
Before Komodo Dragon bit his hand off, so only a matter of time. Komodo Dragon's head blows.
Boom. Lucky for him.
Lucky for him, because he would have wiped the floor with Rex. And so Rex is like, cool. I stopped him.
Yeah, well, he's laughing because he's in shock. And then next thing you know, King Lizard hiding in the background. Because I
think Rex said something about the Lizard League being dumb or something like that. And so when King Lizard came out, he was like, is it smart to fight or is it smart to hide and then reemerge when your opponent's at his weakest?
Yeah.
And so he's got a gun to the back of Rex's head. And Rex is just like, you know what? Just fucking pull the trigger and get it over.
Yeah, just go ahead and kill me, dude. I lost my friends. I lost my hand. You know, this ain't a situation like DP. That ain't growing back. No. That's gone.
And so that's the
So
end of the episode.
yeah, you left in suspense.
So we
You
don't know
left in
what's happening.
suspense. You don't know if Caesar will be able to do a hand
Well, technically,
job.
that one happened. Then we got to the end with the shield crashing in the sequence.
And Adam Eve knocked out, and the
Yeah,
Secret's coming, and Invincible and
and Rudy is outside his
Immortal.
suit. And
Invincible and Immortal is supposed to go and try to peel these little
the secret's off the host.
off the host to try to get the air, because it's really supposed to be a rescue mission.
Right.
They're supposed to be going and get the astronauts so they can get a debrief and figure out what's going on. What does he know? What did he see? What can he say?
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't what his plan is.
No,
His plan is to invade. It's an invasion.
All went so wrong so fast.
Because it's Invincible. You gotta Invincible is the Avengers. You gotta lose to come back. Which
they've been losing a lot.
Yeah, he lost the first time.
Lose very often.
He lost the first time. He saved the astronauts, but again, that's an L. He didn't win. And then,
at that point, he thought he did because he thought he saved all of them. He was not aware that one of them was a Martian.
That's an L.
It was a W with an asterisk that got turned into an L.
So it's a lowercase L. It's an L. You don't have to be a capital L. It's an L. Man. Overall, what did you think about? You don't have to say it because I know we were framing.
Yeah, we wait until
to give it the super or not.
Right.
But overall, as an episode, what did you feel about it?
Before we get to that,
okay,
we have our mid-credit scene.
Oh yeah.
We left off part 1 because the Viltrumites were able to find Nolan on Thraxon through means that we don't know yet. But in their quest of searching for him, they came upon Alan the alien, and they whooped the dog shit out of Alan. Alan tried to put up the best fight that he could. But they ripped his arms apart.
Because they again, like you said, we don't know, but somehow they knew that Nolan abandoned this post and wanted Alan to confirm it. Like,
right?
Cause is it because they heard about him? Nah, I'm not sure.
No.
Again, that's a whole nother show.
But
yeah, they beat the dog snot out of
Alan. But because Alan was out on a date with his girlfriend, and true. I think because she saw that he was out there fighting and ultimately got beaten, that she was able to retrieve all of his parts, and they get him back to the Council of Planets, I think it's called.
This is true.
Yeah, I think it's called the Council. Something, whatever their organization is, the Coalition of Planets, I think it's what it's called.
You said it right the second time.
Maybe I still could be wrong, but so
sounds right.
Alan's all bandaged up. He's in his life support pod, and Thaddeus comes in and shuts off his life support.
You don't need that no more.
And so he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. And then he shuts it off. So
we're thinking
he possibly, we're thinking he could have been the one that told the Viltrumites. He's been a mole this entire, because they did say in part 1 that there's a mole, and he wanted Alan to find the mole. So we're thinking, mission. Shit, Thaddeus sent him on a wild goose chase because he's actually the mole.
Yeah, makes sense. We've seen it done before.
And so we leave part 1. It's like, fuck, Alan's dead. He just turned off his life support. He's straight up dead.
No coming back from that.
And so we get the mid-credit scene. Alan wakes up. Alan's like, hello? Anybody here? Lights off.
Right.
Lock on the door. Windows shuttered. Everybody gone.
But that's what he said. He's like, I'm alive. I could have sworn I was dead. I just knew I was dead.
Right.
I'm not upset about being alive. I'm happy about it.
Kind of, surprised as to how it happened. But so he breaks out of the pod unintentionally because he's like 5 sizes bigger.
Yeah, he's super soldier now. He just sits up. He sits up. He don't even. He didn't even try.
Yeah, it's not that he's trying to break out. He just goes to sit up and he breaks everything. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I broke your pod. I didn't mean to." And so he's looking at himself and he's like, "Okay, I'm huge now." Thaddeus comes in. He's like,
Exposition dump.
Pretty much explains him everything that goes on. And so Alan asks him what happened, and Theta's like, "Well, I have to apologize to you because I came in here and I turned your life support off." And Alan was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Like, what?
Last
Why?
time I understand, I needed that. What you
Right.
doing?
And so Theta's basically explained to him because he is a genetically engineered to be the best of his race.
True. True.
Theta's
Go
had the
back and
notion.
watch the Allen
Yeah,
episode
go
if
back
you
and watch
guys
the
don't
Alan the Alien
know what we're
episode from
talking about.
season 1. But Theta said that I knew that if I were to turn off your life support and you were to like die, or you would either recover naturally
or
you would die.
You would kind of like Invincible. You would get stronger or you would die.
Right.
And he's like, I'm sorry I played with your life, but I knew to give you a better chance fighting against the Viltrumites that this choice had to be made. It had to be necessary. And even though Alan is upgraded now, Alan's like, I'm not trying to fight them again. I fought
He's
them
like,
and I lost.
Beat the
I saw
hell out
my
of me.
eye come out. I saw that.
He's like, they took my eye out, and I saw my eye get taken out, which was, really weird.
I couldn't imagine that. Like you watching yourself like die, like you watching yourself lose this fight. You just see it's like if you were the record and the bird record and Brian and Stewie was stomping you and hitting you with the bat from Family Guy, and you just watching it happen, and then you just can't do nothing about it. It's like
it happens. But so Thetis gives Alan a new mission because he reveals that he's a Viltrumite. So I guess Viltrumite men can't grow. No, they can't grow beards because Nolan had a beard.
That's how you define. Yeah, you got to be defined by that beard. That mustache, that beard.
So,
you got to have some type of hair quality.
All of the male Viltrumite fighters just have mustaches.
Not all of them, but because remember that I can't call them black because I don't know what they call darker skinned Viltrumites. He didn't have facial hair. The one that got all his insides cut.
I thought he did.
I don't remember. I thought he was clean shaven. But there was some clean shaven ones, right? There got to be some clean shaven ones. I mean, the whole race of species of people can't be defined by mustaches and facial hair.
I think that
unless you're weak and can't grow facial hair, you deserve to die.
Different, different thicknesses of mustache, but I think that all of them have some type of facial hair.
Interesting.
But
I don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, I already got a technical, so I'm not going to say about this.
You're on thin ice. But but Thetis reveals himself to be a Viltrumite, and he said he's the only Viltrumite that rebelled against his people.
Spider, here's a quick question. What if that beard was real?
And he just ripped it off through his own
I'm a Viltrumite, so I can just rip my facial hair off like a real Viltrumite.
I mean, I guess it's possible.
One clean shave, I don't even bleed.
I think that was Hitchcock who shaved with his fingernails because he just was in the mirror and just like scratching his hair off his face.
Yes. Shout out to Will Smith for that.
And I guess it might be possible. He was just like,
I'm a Viltrumite. Right. Look at this mustache.
But he's the first and only Viltrumite to rebel against his people.
And we know that's not true.
Well, to the point before he learned about Invincible, he was the only one.
This is true because Alan told him about Invincible.
Yeah, and so now that he knows about Invincible and how he didn't want to give in to his father's desires of ruling the earth with him for the Viltrumite rule, he wants Alan to go get Invincible because he feels that Invincible could be a key component to a war against the.
But here's a question, Spider.
Yes.
How come they didn't know that he abandoned his folks if he, went up against the Viltrumites?
I think that gets explained later.
You're right. They shouldn't do 8 episodes. Why do y'all do this?
Because I don't know exactly where in the comics they're gonna leave off for the end of this season.
You remember when shows used to be like at least 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Back in the days
Full
when it
season
was
used to be like
fun.
22 episodes.
Back in the day when it was fun. We not kids anymore, but somehow they sticking us with this bush. I could sing it like that because it's not the original song. Copyrights. We learned at the top of the show.
But to go back to your question on my general feelings about the episode,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
like you said, Invincible is back.
Invincible is
Back
back.
to being
Title
invincible.
card, no.
And
Bloody.
what I love is that the creator of the comics is so involved with the show
Robert
because
Kirkman?
I saw, I think it was on Twitter, they were doing like shot by shot comparisons of the way that the comic panel was framed versus the way that the scene in the show was framed. And it was literally a 1-for-1 comparison, like as close as possible as you can go from a 2D medium to a 3D medium. Like there was so many scenes in the show that were like exact frames from the comic book. And I feel like it takes such dedication to be able to stick that close to the source material.
Definitely.
But of course, you know that of course some things are being left out. Of course, we know that they changed a lot of things. Like in the comics, Amber was white. In the show, she's black. In the comics, Shrinking Ray was a man. And on the show, she's a woman. So
yeah, I'm not
there are
upset about those
changes
gender swaps.
to how the characters look, but not necessarily how the characters act and what their motivations are.
Yeah.
And so
for those who are upset about it, go ahead and leave comments in the section, and we'll tell you that we probably won't read those. We're about diversity here.
I wasn't about to say I wasn't about to say probably won't read them. I was like, I'm not reading those.
We're not reading those because we are about diversity here.
But just to be able to see that comparison, and I just want to, like, because I remember we were doing the review in the first season, how both of us were like, we're not as well versed, we haven't read all the comics, and all this other kind of stuff.
Since then,
right now where we are, and I think it gives a greater level of appreciation because you can watch something, it's pulled or it's derived from an property already. Like, okay, well, this is a cool movie. I didn't read the book, but I thought the movie was good.
Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
yeah, especially Lord of the Rings,
50 Shades of Grey.
I didn't read that book. I didn't read the book or to see the movie.
Well, so, Madam Web's in it.
Yeah, I know that
gives you any gives you any implication about.
But I mean, it was successful enough for them to make 3 of them. So
was it though? Did you
ask
for Echo? Did you ask for Moon Knight?
The numbers.
Did you ask for Secret Invasion?
I mean, some people did.
Did you want to see Kingpin get the cross eyes on his face?
That was the choice by the show, but we're not talking about that. But what it is that that there's always this subsect of the fan base that has gripes and complaints because they read the book, and of course they want the movie to be exactly like the book.
That's horrible. Or
at least not an extreme deviation from it. Which
that's horrible.
Something that you can't do because you take a book is descriptive, right? Because these novels, they don't have pictures. So you're not being able to see exactly what it is that they're referencing. So they have to explain it in words. So there's a lot of descriptive narrative text.
Well, that's why people love the books.
Right.
Because you're open to your imagination. It's probably more than what you ever thought it was.
But then when they come up on a screen and the person isn't the way that they imagined them in the book, now they have a problem with the casting choice. Now they have a problem with the location. Now they have a problem with this character's motivation or how this character got from point A to point B, when in the book they had to go to A1, A2, B-1 before they got to point B. And so all of this stuff that they felt was character defining moments in the book, they kind of cut out so they can progress the story along, and so people get upset about it. But this Invincible, even though there are those extra panels of ancillary information and stuff that is of lesser consequence, then because like in the comics, there's more of the omnipotence fight that we get to see in the show, but because it's not really relevant to the story that we're trying to tell in this episode, we don't really feel like we need to show you all of that. Because it really it won't add anything to what's going on right now, and we already have
basically Cecil saying that the Guardians almost got killed while you were gone, but that's kind of unfair to put on Mark, because with all the L's that he take, what makes you think he's just
would he really have been that much more effective? Because even when he tried to take out the Marvel twins and all of their variants at the beginning of season 2, he got his ass beat then. And then the Guardian showed up at the end.
But so, he's that guy.
I don't know.
There's no Omni-Man, but he has what Omni-Man has.
He has Omni-Man. He has Omni-Man potential, and I guess that's what Cecil is trying to get out of him. But he's really placing all of this on Mark like he's the end-all, be-all, the strongest there is, and he's the only one that can handle all of it. Because I mean, it was the thing with the fishing under the sea.
Call KGB
They're not calling him
to be a hero.
They're not calling him.
Now, see, I want to see him fight a real Viltrumite, since he really lives for the battle.
That will probably be like the best fight. Because you think about it, it's like, yeah, like you say, he whipped the shit out of Mark. Because Mark, even at that point, Mark was still just starting out. So, of course, he had not come across anybody with that type of strength, with that type of tenacity, with that type of drive, that love for the fight, that was really just ready to kill him. If it wasn't for KGB, it's like, you're not even worth my time. And then he left.
Was so embarrassed.
Then Mark would have probably been dead.
Not even worth me killing. Don't you realize the type of trauma that's gonna leave impressed upon you? You're a hero. You gotta build out here that ain't even my guy.
And he wasn't even like Mark wasn't even there for him
at all.
He was like, you just showed up. It became a part of this.
You should have called in. I'm gonna go ahead and take the day off, Cecil. So why Cecil putting all that pressure on him? Like every other week, you gotta put this guy in the hospital and let him heal up quick. But he has accelerating healing, but at the same time,
and that's the thing that I don't get. I don't understand where all this faith that Cecil has in Mark is coming from, because realistically, not to say that Mark is not a good guy, not to say that Mark isn't trying to do his best, but realistically, Mark does not have a great track record of being successful. So why is it that you're
isn't that the whole reason that he took him out the field? Because he was messing up?
Well, it wasn't that he took him out the field because he was messing up. He took him out the field because he didn't think he was ready psychologically, because he was still dealing with the emotions of trying, because at that point he wasn't trying to help people. He was trying to clear his conscience from what his dad did to make it very distinguishable. That they had. I am not my father.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
of him saving people, but not really staying to interact.
Right,
just kind of guardian angel. Why was that so complex for me to say?
Words are hard, man.
Yeah, they are, especially when you try to use them correctly.
Right. But just having read the source material, having read the comics, and then seeing that jump off the page into the show, it just gives me, and I'll say me personally, because I'm not going to speak for all Invincible fans who've read the comics and then watched the show. For me personally, it gives me a greater appreciation of the way that they're going about it, because there's so many corners that you can cut. There's so many shortcuts that you can take, especially because you only have 8 episodes in the season.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But they're still hitting all the high points. They're still giving us those emotional beats and still giving us that action that we know Invincible is going to give us, still giving us the gore, but still giving us the explanation. And so they're covering everything. And that's one of the things that I was looking forward to when the season came. Well, when the season came back for part 2, because after reading the comics and seeing where the show left off in the comics and then reading beyond that, you start to wonder, okay, we know where they're picking up, but how far are they going to go in this episode? You know, how far are they going to go in the next episode? Where are we going to stop by the time this season is over? And then how that's going to feed into next season. Because I know for sure that there are some things in the comics that we're probably not going to see in the show.
Potentially.
But, you know, it's still going to be a fun experience to see what they leave in, what they take out, or what they retool so it can fit better in the show, but still bring them to that same eventuality that we got to in the comics. But as far as this episode, I thought this, like I said, Invincible is back. Everything that they've done so far in season 1 and the first half of season 2, everything that's made this show great is still great. And which I had no doubt that it would be, but I'm just glad that it's back.
Tires light the fires. Scratch my back and call me Crackerjack, I guess. There's a prize inside. I'm still working on these.
Yeah, we can workshop it. But what do you think about the episode?
Hey, listen, the fact that Invincible is back is a highlight of the day, highlight of the week, highlight of the month.
On a new day now, coming out on Thursdays instead of Fridays.
Sometimes we got to switch it up. And here's the thing, like you said about switching it up with Invincible, that's what I love about it. Even though I did read the comics too, not all of them, but when Invincible dropped, they made it a point to let everybody know this show, this TV show, this animation that's on Amazon Prime is doing something that hadn't been done in a long time. It actually promoted comic sales.
Right.
Usually it's the other way around. Comics influence the movies, and then the movies would, you know, influence merchandising and toys. But this show pushed comics. They started selling more comics once the show dropped. And that's usually not the case.
I think one of the biggest I guess situation that allowed that to happen is that you think of Spider-Man, X-Men, Avengers, Captain America, any one of them. You think about how many comic books they have.
So many.
And then
some of the storylines don't even finish. They just stop the run.
Right. They just stop the run. There's crossovers. There are limited runs with one-offs, one-shot stories and all this other kind of stuff. So you never know what they're going to adapt into the movie, or it's just an amalgamation of, you know, all this other kind of stuff, unless they're going over a specific I guess like a specific run, like the Civil War, you know, we got getting into Endgame and bringing Thanos in, and just kind of what Thanos' whole motivation is. But with Invincible is contained. If you don't know, Invincible has an end. Invincible is a full story. We're not gonna.
Spider say it ain't so. We can't keep Invincible like the Simpsons, just continuation forever and ever and ever and ever.
If they want to pick up the story where they left off, I mean, Robert Kirkman, you know, he has that power. If he wants to do so, then maybe he'll work on something. But
I don't know. Rick's back with The Walking Dead now, so I don't know if that's gonna.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But there is an end, so they have a finite place that they're going to get to. And because it is so sort of self-contained to where it's not an insane amount of issues for you have to go back and read, because that was really one of the driving factors as to why I was like, okay, well, I'll read the comic books, because it's not this 100, you know, episode
multiversal
backlog of, you know, multiverse things that I got to read X-Men 24 before I read Spider-Man 3, and then read Avengers 52, so I can get the whole story of everything that's going on. Is just
Loki's holding them branches together, but there's no number system with it.
That I'm just thinking about the comic books that I have been reading, and it's just, you know, there's somebody will say something and there's a little asterisk, and it's like, see, Spider-Man, you know, Spider-Man Miles Morales number 14, and it's like, fuck. Like I want to know what happened, but then I start reading that. Then I start reading that issue, then I got to read that whole run. But yeah, that's how you sell comic books. But the reason that, you know, Invincible comics, like I say, were able to have that uptick in sales, because it's not that they had to go all the way back. They didn't have to buy a whole bunch of different sets to connect all the lines together. It was just, this is where Mark started, this is where Mark is going to end. And so you get all of that, you know, it having it's like an Ouroboros, a snake eating its tail. Having a successful show made them had a successful comic book, which allowed them to have a successful show, and it just keeps going around and around. But
snakes eating ass.
go ahead, finish with your thoughts about what you thought about the show.
It wasn't
the
about
episode.
No, I like even though you said, you can read the comic books, I'm still blown away by the animation. I'm still blown away by the visual. I'm still blown away by the storyline. Because like you said, everything isn't beat for beat with the story in the comic books. It's not beat for beat. And then the parts that is, that the way they adapted it is still mind blowing. Because whether it be the nuance and the details, like I remember, I was like, I don't want to spoil it for you. I know what happens when he goes out, and I know that Army Man wasn't dead, and he had a brother, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what's coming, just like you know what's coming, and I'm still excited to see it come.
Oh yes,
and that, I think that's a huge platform to stand on when you can say, I know what's coming and I still want to see it.
Right. It doesn't ruin
the comic didn't ruin it for me. I still want to see it play out. Whether it's true to the storyline or it differs and takes on its own thing, I still want to see it play.
Right.
Because they executed everything so well. There's stakes.
Yeah.
We didn't go into this, even though you knew where the story was going. Did you go into this episode thinking that Rex was going to lose his hand?
No.
Exactly.
Even though I knew that Kate gets killed in the nuclear facility, it's still reading it and then seeing it happen. It's still a shock. Like it's not that you read the comics and it's like, okay, well, the story is spoiled for me now because I know where everything is going. The story is still compelling. Everything is still exciting. The fight scenes and the fight choreography and the blood, the guts, the gore, and the way that they design everything is still just top tier. And like we were talking about, you have that narrative descriptions in your novels, but of course in graphic novels, it's comic books, so you can still see it. But there's a difference between a panel of art and then seeing that in motion. Because you can see it's brutal that she got clapped together and just basically exploded. And you see that in ink on the page, you're just like, damn, that sucks. But then when you see it on screen, the way that it's animated, you're just like, oh
my God.
Shit.
Like it just got real.
Right.
And those consequences just bring, Spider, you and I talked about it so many times. You love them, kill them all.
Right.
Because you can do whatever. You're the god of the character, but unless you're gonna put them through hell, just kill them off. And there's really, no. Go ahead.
It really is a testament to your writing ability because you're not trying to hold on to a character if you don't have anything for them to do. Because you think about it, in season 1 and season 2, how much did we actually see Shrinking Ray? Like, how many times did we actually see her be impactful in a fight?
We really didn't.
And we don't get this character a lot. There's really not enough focus on this character. So why do we need to keep him around?
We don't have any Guardians right now. No, we don't have any Guardians right now.
We have Rex at the back of a bullet, or at gunpoint right now. That's really all we have.
And it's no looking like someone's about to come through and save the day.
Well, we don't know, because when they went to go fight Omnipotence, we saw all of those other superheroes.
Yeah, we saw them.
So did we only send the 3, or did Cecil call for backup? We don't know who Cecil called.
No clue. And that's the exciting, compelling part about that. Makes you want to say, stop giving us 8 episodes. Can it be when it was 24 episodes?
I understand that, it's very time consuming to animate with this level of detail and all this other kind of stuff. So of course they need time. I understand that. But if that's,
I'll say this, there are some dialogue scenes that you can tell the animation isn't as strong as some of these fight scenes, as
Mm-hmm.
strong as some of these impact scenes. And by contrast, I don't mind
Because you can
because it
tell
is
what the time and attention went to.
right.
It's not like the
But
entire show is like that.
yeah, they're not slacking on these fight scenes, on these action scenes, on these gore scenes. You get a different level of animation. You
Yeah.
get more polished, but then in the middle, you see kind of like Debbie doing something and her framing's off, and it's like, yeah, okay. But it's heavy dialogue, so you take what you need and then you move on. And it's
Right.
so gradual that you don't even care.
Yeah.
But
Because
I've
at that
noticed it.
point, like you said, it's one of the slower scenes, so it's more dialogue heavy. So you're paying more attention to what's being said than because they're not really doing anything compelling. Like when Mark and Debbie were sitting at the table and talking about what they were going to do
Yeah,
with
you
his
exactly what I'm talking
brother,
about.
and they're just sitting there and they're just talking, and then it's not like we have to really be engaged with them because they're at the table and they're having this conversation. But what
Yeah,
they're saying is, we see that Debbie tells Mark that you're making up for things that your dad did, and he's
right.
always leaving his message for other people to pick up. And
Yes,
Mark is like, yes, I understand that, but at the same time,
he's
he's
my
my
brother.
brother. We can't just give him off to Cecil because he's just going to turn him into a science experiment.
Of course. Yeah, I'm 1,000% sure when Cecil's offering to have someone come in to watch the baby so Debbie can go back to work. Here's the other question that I was going to ask you, since we were bringing logic into it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a continuation of our logic section. Why isn't Cecil just really funding Debbie's life right now? Because she
Well,
dedicated her husband
mm-hmm.
to the cause, right? He wasn't a part of the Guardians of the Globe, but he kind of was a pinch hitter. He'll come in if necessary. But Mark is working with Cecil, again, not a part of the official Guardians of the Globe, but coming in as like a pitch hitter. And we know what happened.
Yeah.
So it's not like they
Okay.
don't have the money
They did. No, it does. Yeah, because I was trying to remember if she said it in the show or if it was just in the comics. But
that she don't want their money.
yeah, at the end of episode 4, she told me, she was like, "I don't want anything to do with y'all anymore. I know that I was kind of at y'all beck and call because you were paying for everything, but I don't need
Uh-huh.
your money. I'm going back to work. Stay out of my life." So yeah, at that point, she said, "I don't want your money anymore."
Yeah, but they're still watching her. Now,
Oh yeah, of
Cecil
course they're
said
still
it's for
watching
her
because they got to keep eyes
for
on
her
Mark. Yeah,
protection,
for her protection.
but he also said there are no cameras in the house. I don't believe him.
I kind of do.
You believe there's no cameras in the
I do
house?
believe that there's no cameras in the house. I believe that there are other types of technology in the house for sure, but maybe not cameras. There may
Mm.
be cameras in other places that can see inside the house, but there may not be cameras in the house.
Or there's cameras outside of the house. So when
Also
Mark
possible.
flies in with this purple baby,
When Mark
that
flew in and Debbie was like, "We have a front door," and then Cecil showed up. Cecil knew that Mark came home.
well, he showed up at the school,
Well, no,
at the
this is
college.
when he showed up to ask him to go back to Mars.
Yes,
That was right after Mark had got back home.
yes. I mean,
So
that technology to teleport like he does is
well, I mean,
incredible.
I'm pretty sure he's already just tracking everywhere that Mark goes anyway.
Of
Because I know
course.
he has the earpiece and everything, so you would imagine that there's a tracker in there.
There's a lot going on, and it's not looking good for our heroes.
It's
But am
not.
I excited that
Everyone
Invincible is
is in
back? Hell
trouble right
yeah.
now.
I'm pissed off that it's only 8 episodes because that means we only got what, two more to go? Five,
We got three
six,
more,
7, 8, three
6,
more
7,
to
and 8.
go. That's horrible. But I'll write a letter.
Write a letter to Mr. Amazon.
Yeah, I'm just write one letter on a piece of paper and send it.
Did you see who J.K. Simmons said that he thinks should play Omni Man if they were to do a live action adaptation of Invincible?
Is it Henry Cavill?
It is not Henry Cavill.
Who is it? Is
He
his name? I'm
no,
sorry. What?
no, it's not him either.
Who is it?
And the quote, regarding who should play the character, Simmons continued, I always come up with a good answer 20 minutes after we get off the phone. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the first two guys I'm thinking of are Ryan Reynolds, and I mean, you're thinking of the buff guy. Here's who needs to play Omni-Man, Hugh Jackman. I don't I don't see it.
I
I
don't
don't
see it
see
either.
either of them playing
No.
Omni-Man because I can't see them. And it's, again, not to discredit any of their work. They're both
Nope.
great actors. They're both great
And that's
actors.
the reason why I said Henry Cavill, because of the build.
Right. And it's not even about the build. It's not even about the build. It's to go into that place where Omni-Man goes. Now, if there were to be a live action Invincible movie, it's, if they still got an NC-17 rating, I think that would be NC-17. I don't think they can do Invincible the way Invincible is normally done and just keep an R rating.
What? Now, see, here's where you're gonna have the problems at. Now that we're conditioned to this R rating, you can't take it away.
No, well, what I'm saying is that because of the amount of violence and blood and gore and chopping off heads and seeing entrails and all that stuff, I feel like that's more than just R.
Oh yeah, you're.
That's why I say I don't know if they still have NC-17. So it's either they raise the rating to something that's above R, or they reduce the amount of blood and guts and gore that we see in the movie.
Well, triple X is porn, so there'll probably be at least two. There'll probably be like two X's for just the sheer amount of violence. Is there anything above R? Is there like ER, like extreme R?
I know that there was, they did like a restructuring of
adult
the
content
Motion Picture Association ratings, because remember they used to have like cartoon movies used to be rated G, right?
Right, for general audiences.
There's no more.
Well, yeah,
everything just kind of starts at PG,
right?
It starts at PG and it goes up to PG-13.
I think Inside Out is PG, but Up is PG-13.
No, I think Up is still.
You sure? Because there's an old man yelling at a kid. And it's not PG at all. It's not PG at all.
I mean, it depends on what he's yelling.
Get out my house.
No, I mean, the MPAA still said that there is G. I just haven't seen anything rated G like in commercials.
The Grinch That Stole Christmas?
I don't know. And they also don't really put ratings in the commercials.
No.
Like for family movies anymore.
No.
Unless it's PG-13. And they kind of make a point to say PG-13.
But there was Sausage Party?
Sausage Party was R. Sausage Party was R.
And there was no blood and guts in that.
No, it was just a very raunchy, vulgar movie.
Right. But so it has to be above R, like you said.
They're still NC-17 according to the Motion Picture Association website. So,
were they talking about making a live Invincible?
I don't know if they're in the talks of making one, but I think that because the season is back, then that's one of the questions that they get. You know, if there was a live action Invincible, who wanted to play Omni-Man type thing.
Homelander.
Well, it says the live action Invincible movie was announced years ago. However, it's hit a number of delays. The latest being the writer's strike and the Screen Actors strike. Ryan Kirkman told Variety in October 23, I think once we get the script to where it needs to be, I think we'll be in a good place and can move fairly quickly after that. But all of the factors that I just discussed are the things we're thinking about. How does this feel new? How does it feel different? How is this going to feel like something that's special? Those are very tall orders. We also need to find a way to play off the animated series, but also differentiate ourselves to give the movie a reason for existing. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we're hopeful.
I like Robert Kirkman.
Yeah.
I never met him personally, but I like his style of, he goes there and he's not afraid to go there.
Yeah.
He goes there like the Uber will deliver him.
Okay.
He goes there like he doesn't need keys to get there. He just goes there. When he had a zombie in a well, when they try to get the zombie out the well, I'm referencing Walking Dead season 1.
I never watched
trying to get, I understand. But there was a zombie in a well that fell down a well, and of course, you know, you're on a farm, a well, you got drinking water. They're trying to get the zombie out the well because they're still concerned about people at this point in time.
Right.
and they tried to drop a rope around the guy because he was just in the well, and they were gonna pull him out the rope. They're all working on it, and guess what?
They
He's
ripped his body
He's
apart.
yes, yes, because he's bloated and he's decayed and he's dead and he's a zombie, and they try to get him out, and the rope went right through him because he's decomposing.
Right.
And so there was like,
Well, you think the spine
there
would
was
still
like,
catch the rope?
they were like, fuck it.
Well, I guess
They
I don't know
boarded the
if
well
the
up
I
because he
don't
was
know
still
if
alive in there.
the zombie virus like deteriorates bones too, because you think that of course muscle tissue all decay, turns to goop, but the bone structure, because they still need a bone structure if they're going to be walking around, right?
Here's a question, and I guess we could leave them
And
on
that
this. We
logic
could
and
leave it
everything.
on this. Yeah, because this is a logical section.
Yeah,
We said we preference this. Can zombies breathe underwater?
I
Let us know in the comments.
yeah, that's a good question. Do
Mm,
zombies need air to survive? I won't say live because they're undead, but do they
there
need
you go.
oxygen to survive?
Mm, mm.
I really think that it depends on the type of zombie, because we know that there are all different variations of zombie depending on the franchise that you're thinking about.
Yeah, there's World War Z zombies that's fast. Y'all go die.
Mm-hmm.
There's zombie land zombies that's dumb enough to walk off a roof,
Yeah.
but still chase you. There's the Night of the Living Dead zombies or Resident Evil zombies that's slow enough so you could just walk around.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's just so many.
for whatever reason, there's an Android one now that we've seen in Netflix when there was Army of the Dead. It's like, why is this zombie got glowing blue eyes? Is he a cyborg?
I still
What
need to
is
watch
happening?
that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay. How old?
No, you don't. Let's wait for the sequel and then binge watch it all together.
Oh,
But
wait for the sequel.
Dave
No, the sequel.
Bautista's in it.
Sequel came out already, didn't it?
What's the name of the sequel?
Because it was Army of the Dead, and
Uh-huh.
then what
Then
was
they
the
did
other
a
one?
spinoff with the character, the other guy.
Wasn't that? Oh, was that not what? Sequel is Army of the Dead Las Vegas. The other one was Army of Thieves.
Yeah, that's the spinoff. Which I
Okay.
thought they were doing the movie and then doing spinoffs to give you all of the characters' backstories because
Mm-hmm.
that was a backstory. But
Oh, okay.
they
So it was
just
like
stopped.
was it a prequel to Army of the Dead somewhat?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But I'm thinking that we were going to get into why they have this zombie that looks like a half of a robot. So that's what everybody was kind of like, what's
We
going on
didn't
with
get into
this?
that.
No, because they didn't do well.
I mean,
So
well enough for them to make a sequel.
the sequel was better than the original,
Oh, you mean the
in my
spinoff?
opinion. The spinoff was better than the original, in my opinion. I'll watch the spinoff again. The original,
Mm-hmm.
no, not so much. Not so much. But Invincible is back. I am happy that it's back. I can't wait to see next week. Fridays, not Thursdays, on what they're gonna do.
Thursdays, not Fridays.
That's what I didn't say. And
And hashtag Invincible Thursdays.
dun dun
It used to be
dun.
hashtag Invincible Fridays.
I seen what you put on Instagram about Invincible. If y'all want to see it, y'all got to go to Instagram, go to All Things Super, and you can see what Spider put up.
Socials
And
in the link below.
watch, watch us. Hit the like and subscribe button and comment everywhere that you see us.
There you go.
That way, we'll read it, and if it's not worth reading, we won't read it.
Let us know what you
That's
thought about Invincibles. Season 2, Episode 5.
we'll let y'all know if it's super or not. Because listen, we've done this before. Some people don't stick to landing, especially when they do these short episodes. These short, some people just don't stick to landing. We're talking to you, Disney. You know who we're talking to. But not just Disney. We watch some other
Yeah, we watched some other
other
shows.
programming. I'm not just gonna throw Disney under the bus. Sometimes when you have these shorter runs, you just don't have enough time to establish what you need to. Right now, they're all over the place in Invincible. It
But I
doesn't
will
deter
say,
from the story, but they are all over the place.
I will say, season 1 did end pretty damn strong.
Oh, season two started pretty damn strong.
Yeah. But, we'll see if they can keep that magic.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Because I'm reserving just like you, reserving. Just because you got, a good track record, don't mean you can't fumble it all at the end. Just
Yeah,
get to
that's
the
true.
end and just how they say. I think the saying now is you shit the bed.
Yes.
It's now the saying. If you get all the way up there and you shit the bed and you don't get, that's it.
Don't follow through. But we will see in the next 3 episodes how Invincible turns out. But we hope that you guys come back here so you can catch the reviews. But just remember,
Catch all our episodes.
if you like the video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out.
Ding.
If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search
Listen
for All
close.
Things Super on
There
your
you
favorite
go.
podcast streaming platform. And if you want to reach out and follow us on social media, just click the link in the description.
And leave a comment and we'll read it. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys to leave comments. Just to be like, hey, what's up,
Hey.
guys? Shout out where you from so we can shout you out.
Shout out where you're from. Let us know where you listening from. Let us know, like we said, if you want to see something, you want us to review something, you want us to react to something, let us know in the comments too, because we're always open for audience suggestions.
We love y'all. That's what I'm trying to show you.
We
This
want
heart.
to give you the content that you want to see. And here,
There you go. For all my audio listeners.
we're all inclusive over here at All Things Super.
I love this show.
I'm glad you do. I would hate if you didn't love the show, but you still show up every week.
I try to cancel shit to do this show. Like, I can't do what you want me. I got the show to do. What are you talking about? You act like you love that show. I need you to accept that right now.
You gotta understand.
We do this for the people. And if y'all watching this far, y'all them. If y'all didn't know, if you made it to the end of any of our videos,
right,
we love you.
We really
know we
different.
Guys. We different on purpose.
We know we get long-winded too. So
hell yeah, and we start talking about different stuff.
Yeah.
I think one episode we went over a grocery list or something.
Don't think that's true at all.
That's not true at all. But for the ones that really know, no, they didn't. They didn't do that.
Right. The casual listeners would be like, did they? Let me go see what episode that was.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're part of the madness.
We thank you guys so much for all the love, all the support. We really greatly appreciate you. We will be back in the next episode, and we hope to see you then. But just remember, keep being super.
And wash behind your ears.